Welcome to English with Abby and Torai. I'm Abby, and today we will talk about adverbs of frequency. Adverbs of frequency. Adverbs are words that describe verbs. Words that describe verbs. They also can describe adjectives or other adverbs, but here with adverbs of frequency, we will talk specifically about adverbs that describe verbs. You know it's an adverb when it can answer a question about the verb. I'll give examples as we're going through. But adverbs of frequency. Frequency means how often something happens. There are many adverbs of frequency in the English language, and I have them here in descending order of how often it happens, the most often to the least often. And so let me underline each one. We have always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, and never. Always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, never. Again, in descending order. Always happens 100% of the time, never happens 0% of the time, and then some other words in between. So let's go through and talk about each of these adverbs of frequency and how we use them in a sentence and what they mean. So the first example, I always eat breakfast. I always eat breakfast. Always means 100% of the time. 100% of the time it will happen. Always being 100% of the time it will happen. So I always eat breakfast every single day. I never do not eat breakfast. I always eat breakfast. And here, like I was talking about with adverbs, they answer a question about a verb. So the question here would be, how often do you eat breakfast? How often do you eat? The answer is always. Always. I always eat breakfast. The next example, I usually walk to work. I usually walk to work. Usually means most of the time. Not 100% of the time, but most of the time. So maybe 5 or 6 days a week, I walk to work. I usually walk to work, but maybe if it's raining, I'll drive to work or something. The next example, we often visit our grandparents. We often visit our grandparents. Often means many times. So this could mean once a month. This could mean every couple of months, like 3 or 4 times a year you visit your grandparents, but it is often, many times we visit our grandparents. The next example, he sometimes goes to the gym. He sometimes goes to the gym. Sometimes means half the time. Half the time. So that could mean like once a week, so like 4 times a month. It could mean every other week. It could mean like just once a month. Sometimes goes to the gym. So about half the time he goes to the gym. And then we have they rarely watch TV. They rarely watch TV. Rarely means almost never. So if it is rarely, if they rarely watch TV, then it's probably they're maybe watching one movie every 6 weeks, or maybe every couple of months they would watch a show or a movie. But they rarely watch TV, which means almost never. And the last one, I have never been to Japan. I have never been to Japan. Never means 0% of the time. It means it has never happened yet, at least with some things, but never, 0% of the time. It just does not happen ever. And so something I want to point out quickly is about the placement of adverbs of frequency. Usually, the verb comes after the adverb of frequency. So the adverb comes first. I always eat. I usually walk. We often visit. He sometimes goes. They rarely watch. So usually the adverb comes before the verb in the sentence. Now, this last example is different. This last example is a present perfect tense verb. And so you'll notice that the adverb goes in the middle of the present perfect verb. Have been is the present perfect tense, and never is the adverb that goes in between. I have never been to Japan. And so never goes in the middle. I have never been to Japan. I've never been there. And when we use adverbs of frequency with the present perfect tense, it's usually just explaining something general about our lives. I have never been to Japan. This just means that this person has never gone to Japan. Maybe one day they will, but they have not been there yet. And that doesn't mean they will never go there, but they just have not been there yet. And something else I want to point out as well is when we use the verb to be with an adverb of frequency, and I'm going to add this up here. She is always late. It could be an example. She is always late. So here, when we have the verb to be in a sentence, the adverb of frequency comes after the verb. That's generally the only time when an adverb of frequency will come after the verb, when we use the verb to be with adverbs of frequency. But these are the most commonly used adverbs of frequency. And again, in descending order, we have always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, and never. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that this is helpful in helping you better speak like an English native speaker. Native speakers use words like this a lot in speaking. And if you have any other questions about this or about another piece of the English language, you can leave a comment and let us know. That would be very helpful. So thank you for watching again, and we will see you in the next video.